Oh, wait, I did not mean to hit that live button that quickly, but oh well. Let's see. I'm going to go to the bathroom before we started, but that's okay. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, I set it up for 10:35, and then as I was hitting the done button, I thought, and I was going to hit the head, then it was the play button instead of the done button. So, oh well. Good. I'm on. But how's my lighting and my hair and everything? I didn't have time to obsess over it. Oh no. I got my braces adjusted today and they are so much better. This side seems a little bit bright. This side seems a little bit dim. What do you guys think? I can adjust a little bit. I think it's pretty good, isn't it? It just seems like there's like a little bit of a blued layer right here. Maybe I'll just put my hand like this. Okay, there we go. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something, be educational. All of my videos are made for the tube of you and the tube of me. And it's lovely to see you, my lovely, precious justice warriors. Hit your like button if you don't mind. And I still have my sign hiding behind me, don't I? Down here, all the way down here. I'll just have to pick it up. Now you can't see my puppy dogs either. Make sure you're still subscribed. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my channel. Turn on your notification bell to ring. I don't know if I can put that where you can see it. On there. I put it on the puppy dog's back. You can kind of see it. Okay. Let's get into it. Where's my freaking notes? They're on the other side of the room. 1 second. Thank goodness. For a second, I thought they weren't in there. I've been carrying way too much stuff in my purse. And so, like, I thought that it was in my purse and then I couldn't see it. But yeah, it was. So I have it. I'm ready to go. I think I need a little bit more fan air on me. And you know how it is. If I touch something, I'll knock everything down. We can't have that. And I like to put the fans kind of far away so you guys can't hear them. But anyway, if you can let me know if you can hear me okay, I'll just go ahead and get started. I wanted to speak today about the Tepe family in Columbus, Ohio. And little Cheeseball wants to say hi too. I wanted to speak some about the Rob Reiner case. There's going to be an arraignment tomorrow. It's also January 6th. And you know what I thought of today? J6, JS, Jack Smith. I was like, that's wild, isn't it? That he just happens to have the same initials as, oh, you know what? If I put this stuff on, it might help the glare on my face. I don't really wear makeup, but I use this stuff. It's kind of creepy because it's called baby skin, and I don't think they use any babies to make it. But it's my one little hot tip for when you're on a video, because it's simply a diffuser. It's just clear. Oh, look, now I'm doing my makeup video like, you know, the makeup video people. I can't even think of her name right now. Bailey Syrian. She's so awesome. But yeah, she does like the full face. Like she must have been a makeup artist for Hollywood or for models or something. She's amazing. I love how homely she is at the beginning, and then you just watch her get freaking drop dead gorgeous. They're not quite the same, but that's okay. So that's all it is. It's just a diffuser. I'm so happy that I know about it. And now you know too. So I have my eyeliner on and a little bit of lip gloss, but I might need more actually. Let me grab that. And then we can get to talking. Sorry that I hit that button. See, I was going to come on now, but it serves me right for all the times that I've been late and rescheduled and everything that I hit the start button when I didn't mean to. I did that once a couple of years ago, and I was like doing my hair and stuff, and then people in the chat were like, "Do you know you're live?" I was like so embarrassed. It's hilarious. And I left it up. I didn't even, like I was going to delete it or edit it, but then I was like, whatever, you just got to roll with it. So I got 2 people in the chat. If you want to say hi, please do. And don't feel any pressure. It's just, how much I love talking with you guys, which is why I come on live rather than just doing pre-recorded videos. Because, lately I've been thinking maybe I should do some pre-recorded videos so I can do like a Rob Reiner video and do a Tepe family video and do, keep them segregated. But no, I want to have it all one big melting pot. So thanks for being here with me. And then there's all the insanity in the freaking government. Let's just pretend that everything's normal there and we'll just focus on true crime. I mean, I've been saying for, what is it, over a year now, I've been saying that the political and the true crime are one and the same, in my opinion. Come here, Cheesy. Come here, honey. You're so cute. You are such a love bug. Oh, she's such a teddy bear. I love her. She's so cute. And then Coco's over there scratching. Coco, what are you doing? She's so precious. So the Tepe family red rooms in Columbus are so effing sad. I'm going to put a link in the description to their wedding video that the brother-in-law just posted today. He's the one who made the wedding video almost 5 years ago. Their 5-year anniversary, I think, would be January 20th, if I'm getting the date right. It was 2021. They got married in that house. And so this video is a magnificent portrayal of their families and their personalities. And they're so freaking adorable together. And you can tell they're just like crazy in love and just an adorable, happy couple. So this was the wife's second marriage. So the husband's name is Spencer Tepe, and he goes by Spence. The wife's name is Monique Tepe, and she goes by Mo. Mo was born and raised in Columbus. Mo and Spence and Mo's ex-husband, Michael, they all went to OSU. Mo's ex-husband is a cardiovascular surgeon. I think currently he is practicing in Chicago. She had been married to him briefly for less than 2 years in 2015 to 2017. So then 4 years after being divorced, she remarried, and that was about 5 years ago. Her and Spence had a 1-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. You guys have probably all heard the story. I know it's getting a lot of airtime on the tube, and police are acting like they don't have any suspects. I personally think they do. And I will tell you my controversial opinion of who I think the main suspect is. But I had already thought this before I knew if anybody had been married before or not. And I thought that it was probably an ex of hers that was obsessed with her. And the reasons that I thought that are because Spence had 5 slugs in him and she only had 1. Anna Bees, hello, my dear. How are you? Have you been watching some things about Spence and Mo? And did you watch the video that I sent you? That beautiful but spooky wedding video. Like, did you get a chance to watch it? Is it just me, or does it get kind of dark and spooky towards the end? And it's just so creepy that, I mean, it's a beautiful wedding. It's so creepy that they got married in the same house that they were, laid to rest in. I mean, I'm saying it nicely. They were mowed down, basically. And fortunately, the 1-year-old and the 4-year-old were untouched, but how freaking awful. I want to go over some of the logistics of what happened that morning, because I just watched Surviving the Survivor, which I never watch, and I'll probably never watch it again. They got so much wrong. It was ridiculous, with their freaking FBI and their sheriff, who's a police chief, sheriff wannabe. And then, I'm sorry, I try not to criticize other channels, but they are freaking stupid. Maybe not so much the content creator, but kind of. They were just going all kinds of stupid directions, and I'll talk about it. It really upset me. I'm just like, man, you guys are supposed to be the good ones. I'm supposed to be learning from you. This is like what not to do. So don't watch that video. I am very tired. I haven't watched it yet. I had a busy day taking my daughter to the doctor and etc. I was almost thinking of showing the video on my phone. I don't know if that's really effective when I show stuff on my phone, since the screen is so small, but we can try it. Do you think it's effective? It might make me cry. Let's watch it. And so the brother-in-law posted it. He's the one who made the video 4 years ago. He has a small channel. It's like 119 subs. I'm one of them. I just subbed up today. And he makes professional wedding videos. It's a magnificent video. He's only got like 20 videos up, and he just did a really good job. He's married to Spence's sister. So just to be clear, his name is Rob. I forget his last name, but that's the name of his channel that I'll link up in the description. Here, let me go to it, and then I can tell you what it is. Come here, baby. You go down. Sorry. Where is it? It is called Spencer and Monique Tepe. Or actually, it's just called Monique and Spencer. And Rob's last name is Misleh, Misleh. What I didn't finish saying is that Spencer's from Cincinnati. He was born and raised there. His dad is an attorney. So I'm sure they got this. I don't even know what type of attorney, but oh my goodness, this family has got to be completely devastated. Okay, I can usually see your phone. All right. And Mo is very photogenic. She's almost too pretty. She's pretty much like drop dead gorgeous. And Spence is cute, but he's just not as photogenic as her. In the video, he's freaking adorable. He's as adorable as she is. And maybe that's because his personality is really showing. But anyway, so Rob is married to Spence's sister. And Rob and the sister live in Cincinnati area. The dad, Timothy Tepe, is an attorney in Cincinnati. There's another Timothy Tepe that's a judge that's not them. So that judge has domestic violence on record. There's domestic violence on record that is connected to Mo and Spence's address from earlier this year in I think it was April. But I think it was somebody at a party at their house who got into it with her boyfriend. It was not Monique and Spence. And it was definitely a double red rum, not a self and other. So the video's 11 minutes. Let's just hit play. But let me say correct myself. Their wedding date is January 30th, not the 20th. And let me try to get past the Bush's Beans ad without any volume. But it's a cute dog in the ad. Okay, so here we go. It's very cool. It's so well done. There's just hats and lights. The city of Columbus, the flowers. She's getting her hair done. She has no makeup on. It's super cute. Oh, and the flowers in her hair are magnificent. They're showing the stuff that they're going to put in her hair.
Dear Momo, I feel so lucky to be up here with you today. You've grown to become my best friend, and together we're surrounded by friends and family who are fortunate to be able to say the same.
Like I said, I might cry.
Our support system is immense.
Seriously.
And you embracing Larry, my crazy group of friends, and my loud family like you have means the world.
My crazy group of friends, that's cute.
To believe in you and to encourage you. I vow to provide for you. I vow to never stop loving you and to always keep working on us.
There's the flowers in her hair.
I vow to do my best to always keep making you laugh because your smile is my favorite thing. I love you.
Oh my God, they look so happy together. Sorry, I have to stop it so I don't cry. I'm just going to start bawling if I go any further right now. Let's skip this part. Oh my goodness. It's Kenny Loggins. Okay, I'll cry over here. I'll go ahead and play it. It'll make you cry too, right? Here we go. Let's all cry together.
People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one, and we just begun. I think I'm gonna have a son. He will be like she and me, as free as a dove, conceived in love.
They're walking down the aisle.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything's gonna be
First of all, thank you for everyone here, families, friends, all the friends at Zoom, and the families out there. Thank you. The brooms and the bride, they want to say thank you very much.
Thanks for the hearts. It helps the algorithm.
Contributions and happy thoughts. I'm going to start out with a little story. I was kind of taken back, when Monique approached me
This is the cutest story.
Weeks back and says, "Hey, Dan, I want you to do the ceremony for me." And she told me, "Hey, I think I found a guy that's just as good as you."
It's her dad. It's her dad.
I said, "Whoa." I think in my mind, I'm thinking, wait a minute. We got to put this to the test. So, I did my research, did my analysis, and put all the checks in the squares that I wanted to. And the end conclusion is, hey, he is better. I wish I could take the honor, but that honor goes to Tim and Yvonne. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And for Monique, all I can say is this, Spencer,
Tim is Spencer's
as far as I'm
dad.
concerned, she can be an 80-year-old lady walking down the streets and just be yelling, "That's my baby."
Spencer, what can I say? From day one, I knew you were something special. I had quite a journey to get to you. Countless bad bumble dates, wrong relationships, and waterfalls of tears. But it was worth every cringing second because it led me to you. Throughout all of this, I knew that God was guiding me to my person, and that when I met him, it would be...
Let me just stop it and interject here. I just can't freaking believe that they were gunned down in this very home where they had this wedding less than 5 years ago. Like, screw that, man.
The most magical thing ever. And boy, is that an understatement. I finally found my lobster, and it honestly couldn't be a person with a more beautiful heart. I will love you forever, and I'm so lucky to be Mrs. Kepi.
By the power vested in me by the Universal Life Church and by the state of Ohio, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. To everyone,
Larry does not.
I'd like to present to you Mr. and Mrs. Teppy.
Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, and everything will bring a train of love. In the morning when I rise, bring a tear of joy to my eyes.
And I'll put a link in the description to the video if you want to watch it. I'm sure it's going to go viral. I mean, he posted it a long time ago, 4 years ago, but it just showed up in my feed today. It's cute. Then they start running around the city. I think it's just right outside their house. They live close to downtown. Live. And it's cold out. She's in those spaghetti straps, but she's got great arms. She's got incredible arms. I can see why she'd want to show them off. But there's going to be a couple of cute stories from some friends and family. There's just 5 more minutes. Maybe we'll just go ahead and play the whole thing, and then we'll go through some of the details. The devil is in the details. And I think they want people to be watching this. I think that the family wants people to be watching it. The brother-in-law has been posting a lot on social media. I think the police want people to be watching this too. They want people to care, and they want any freaking tips that they can get.
I've been very fortunate to stay close to them and to get them to get to know them really well. They've quite literally given me food, shelter, clothing, and drink, and I'm so happy to have you guys back.
I've seen you with your ups and downs.
Sorry, it knocked my water down. Luckily, it was closed.
I've never seen you so happy, and it's never seemed just so right. I'm so happy to call you brother. So happy you're part of the family. Because that's my sister said in her vows. Like, you let her be her. I love you both.
We love you too.
Yes. So, congratulations.
The dancing is so cute. She's dancing with her dad, and then I think it shows him dancing with his mom. It's so adorable.
An MSC cruise isn't just a vacation.
Just very vivacious people. Very vivacious. Oh my goodness. Wait. This is where it gets spooky. 8 minutes and 13 seconds. So it cut from where we just were with the dancing to the American flag, and then him out in the snow. But it's so cool because they're doing, the videographer is playing it in reverse, so it looks like the snow is going up. Let's see if you can see it. It's amazing. But it kind of gets spooky right here. The puppy dog. So it's just showing some wedding guests, but you got to wonder, you got to keep an open mind about anything and everything. The snow going up again. I don't know this song, and I like it, and I like how it's dramatic and kind of spooky, but it's dark and the snow is going up. So it's sort of like, when people say right as rain, everything was as right as rain. This is like unnatural because it's going up. So it's kind of fantasy like, but because it's dark and the spooky music, I thought it was pretty wild.
Are you with me tonight? Yeah, are you with me tonight? If so, you're gonna be alright. How you doing tonight? I think you're gonna be alright. Oh, do you know what I mean? Sexy, shake your body for me. Come on, oh, we ain't gonna stop. So let me get the sky above. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
The video is so well done with the music and the lights and the artistry. It's phenomenal. So, first that Kenny Loggins song, and then that kind of spooky song, and then this real like pop dance song. And then they're outside in the street, like I think right outside their house. And there's the city of Columbus. Their house is beautiful. And then it says Monique and Spencer, January 30th, 2021. And then it's got the videographer's name. And there you go. That's it. That's the whole video. So, let's see. We'll just run down some of the events that happened because I have been watching various videos and fitting things together. Paula Plunder is always super awesome with getting like the raw material out there so that you can make of it what you will. I watched a couple of Truth and Transparencies, and those were interesting. I've watched a handful of other videos about the case. So I've been kind of picking up information from all these different places. And then, like I said, Surviving the Survivor, like they pretty much got everything wrong, in my opinion. So it was Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, January 6th. It was a week ago Tuesday. And Spencer had been at work the day before on Monday, after the Christmas holiday. So Tuesday was the day before New Year's Eve. Monique was a stay-at-home mom with the 4-year-old and the 1-year-old. And Spencer's practice that he did his dentistry at was almost 90 minutes away in Athens. It's where University of Ohio is. And it's kind of a far drive from Columbus. I mean, he probably could shave it down to 75 minutes, I would bet. But because it was far away and because he's the responsible kind of professional that he is, what did I do with my chapstick? He would get there like half an hour before his first patient. Man, I got up to get my chapstick and then now it's gone. I'm going to grab another one. Sorry. It's the, oh, there it is. It's the talking with the braces that's just kind of tricky. And okay, so his first patient was usually 8 o'clock. It might have been 8:30 that morning. I'm not sure. I've heard both, 8 and 8:30. But he would get there half an hour early. So let's just say his first patient was 8:30. Okay, just to kind of give some of these people with their ridiculous criticism, in my opinion, the benefit of the doubt. Let's say his first patient was at 8:30, even though it was normally 8. He would have gotten there at 8 o'clock. If his first patient was at 8, he would have gotten there at 7:30. I don't know how many years he worked there or how many months or how long, but he was 100% reliable and dependable. So when he wasn't there half an hour early, I think that I've heard the employees say that they were worried when it was like 3 minutes after the time that they would have expected him. So like 8:03, they were like, what? He's not here. He knows he's got an 8:30. He was here yesterday. Everything was fine when he left. And then at 9:02 was the first 911 call, which came from the owner of the practice who was on vacation in Florida. So that man called and he forgot to mention that it was a dentist's office and that this guy was a dentist. So that kind of like set things off in an awkward way because the dispatcher kind of thought this boss was just like upset with his employee for not being at work and not calling. And he was trying to explain like, this is completely unlike him. This is completely out of character. The place being, 75 to 90 minutes away from his house. I think people had already left from the doctor's office, the dentist's office, to drive to his house before the boss even called. So they called the boss, and then the boss is calling from vacation in Florida, asking for a welfare check, a simple welfare check, and trying to get a hold of people in the neighborhood and people local that they can ask them to go by the house. So that was one of the things that I thought was ridiculous was criticisms of the boss for being the one to make the 911 call, criticisms for he's only an hour late. Like, why are they freaking out? Or half an hour late if it was 8:30. But like I said, I think he normally saw people starting at 8. And it being the holidays, most dentists and doctors' offices, I think during the holidays time that they are in the office, I think their schedules are packed. So he probably had an 8 o'clock. He was probably supposed to be there at 7:30, meaning he would have left his house at 6, or that was his normal routine. Maybe it was 8:30. So he would have left his house at 6:30 to get there by 7:38, right? Okay. So anyway, not to be too nitpicky over that, but people questioning, like, why is the boss calling from Florida? Because the employees were like, what do we do? People are in the chairs. They're ready. He's not here. Of course, their first thought was he'd gotten a freaking car accident. It wasn't like really bad weather that day, but it is winter and it is a long drive. So they probably got in their cars to drive to his house to see if they could see if there were any car accidents on the way there, because that was one of the first questions that the dentist, the practice owner that called 911, that was one of his very first things he said was, have there been any accidents that you know of? So then the cops went to the door. I think that they were there by 9:20 something, and they knocked on the front door. At one point, the dispatcher says that they knocked repetitively on the front door and the back door. I think she got that wrong. I think they knocked repetitively on the front door, because the back door, you would have had to like jump a 6-foot fence, and they didn't think that there was any type of emergency, even though it was a welfare check, even though nobody was answering the door. They didn't know that there were little kids in that place either. So then, at some point in the conversation, the dentist that made the 911 call said, it's even weirder that I've tried calling his wife and she's not picking up either. And that's really strange. So on one of these videos that I watched, they were like, oh, why does he have her number? And that's creepy. OMG. No, this was a very gregarious bunch. Like, the whole office had just had a big birthday party for Spence. I think it was in December. I think he turned 37. I think Monique was 39. And then one of the friends that is, I think, from Columbus is calling 911 and, asking for assistance. And they were like, why do you need assistance? And he said, because they have small kids. And he could hear the kids crying in the house. But he might have actually been in the house. It sounds like he's in the house, because you can hear the kids on the phone. But then I think he called twice. I think he called back because he said there's a body and he's crying. And it sounds like there was a very large amount of the red stuff. And he was so shaken up, he couldn't stay in the room. And, the 911 dispatcher asked him if he could tell if Spence was breathing. And he said he's not, but I can't look. I have to not look anymore. So, 5 wounds. That's a lot. And there were shell casings in the house. So I think all of the shell casings were in the house. I think that there were incorrect reports that they only found 3 shell casings, but there were at least 6 spent slugs. So I think that was misinformation that there were 3, unless the unaliver picked up 3 and then couldn't find the other 3. But my guess is that they just panicked and left, that they probably didn't try to pick up any, and that 3 was just an incorrect number that got put out into the ether. And so now everyone's saying 3 shells, but they know that there were 5 wounds on Spence, and they say at least 1 on Mo. And I think it is only 1, but it's 2 wounds, because I think that it went, and trigger warning, I think it went into her ribs and out of her chest, or vice versa. So there was like some, maybe 1, maybe 2. I think it was 1. So, there was nothing stolen. There was no forced entry. I think the place was locked up when people arrived there, but maybe it wasn't locked up. Maybe that's how the friend or acquaintance who saw the remains, maybe that's how he got in. Maybe it wasn't locked up. It had like a digital door, so if you knew the code, you could get in. So one of my thoughts is that maybe Mo used like the same code she uses for everything, and so she used that code in her last marriage. And so Lana from Truth and Transparency, she did a lot of digging, and I want to give her props. I want to give her major shout outs, but she's also like, stalking the scene of the crime. And I'd say that to her face. It's like, she needs to like cool her jets a little bit. They're going to start thinking she did it. I mean, seriously. In her videos, she's digging into a lot of great information. So some of that I want to share with you, but I'm not so sure of it. I'm just trying to like weigh it all out. So she found the documentation, and I took screenshots of everything, that Mo's ex-husband got remarried 2 weeks after their divorce. So they were divorced in 2017. But the man's name is a common name. I don't necessarily want to say the man's name, although you can find it pretty easily in all the information. He's a doctor, and his first, it's like Jack Smith, but it's got a middle name too that's like John. So it's like Jack John Smith. It's a name like that. Not quite as common, but close. So I'm thinking there could so easily be like 10 people in Columbus with that same name. There could even be 10 doctors in Columbus with that same name. But somebody with the same name as her ex-husband got married 2 weeks after she divorced her first husband. And she's the one who filed the divorce papers. And then the person was not a woman. The person that this other guy, and we'll just use his initials, the surgeon, the orthopedic surgeon, the first husband's initials are MDM. Pretty good initials, actually, like Mad Dog, MDM. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Osama bin whatever his name is, Saddam, MBS, RBG, is that right? Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or MTG. When you have a 3 initial name that you go by, that means you're badass, right? So MDM, that's this first husband's initials. Very common names. The first, the middle, and the last are all very common names. And so somebody with that same name got married 2 weeks after Mo divorced him in Columbus. And the person that got married with the same name married a guy. And the guy, and you can see it all if you watch Truth and Transparency's videos. I'll link them up in the description. The 2 men that were married, the guy owned a cleaning business, and the name of the cleaning business is his last name, which is Diaz, D-I-A-Z. So we'll just call him Mr. Diaz. Mr. Diaz is the one who filed for divorce from MDM 5 years later. So 2022, they got divorced. So it could be the same MDM. It could be a different MDM. I don't know. And it kind of seemed to me like Lana was running with it like it was the exact same one. Maybe she saw birth dates or something that I didn't see that indicated more, maybe there were addresses or something, because she was digging up all the court documents. So she was convinced that it was the exact same one. I'm not so convinced. I'm thinking that it could be a different one. Either way, it would be interesting if he did marry a guy, or if he married anybody 2 weeks after he got divorced. Anybody getting married 2 weeks after a divorce, that's a little cray-cray. But if it was like a business thing, if it was just like so this guy could like get his green card and they were in business together, that could be explained. So they got divorced 8 years ago. So on a lot of forums, people were like, oh, there's no way he had anything to do with it. That was like 10 years ago. And it's just like, have you ever been stalked? Have you ever been obsessed with somebody? Like 8 years is nothing. Unfortunately, I have been sort of in that situation more than once. And not to a life-threatening degree, but it could easily happen. I mean, people get freaking nuts. That's why I'm glad I'm married to a cop. Seriously, but that there's no guarantees. I mean, I just think it's easy to identify with these people because they're like fun-loving, they're gregarious, and maybe it was an ex of one of theirs, and maybe it's not the one with the initials MDM that's a surgeon. But my feeling, and this is simply my opinion, I was already feeling like it was an ex of one of theirs, and probably more likely hers, because men are just more violent than women. Men tend to stalk and do that kind of crap more often than women. Not that women don't do it. Of course they do. They obviously do. But statistically, the chances are much higher that that kind of violence is done by a man. And, the fact that the kids were unscathed might make you lean towards it being somebody with a maternal instinct that knew about the kids and didn't want to bring any harm to them. But one of the things Lana pointed out, which I was really appreciative of, this was in her video today, is that she did a breakdown of the analytical data on that wedding video that I just showed you. And that wedding video had been watched handfuls of times in the month of December. So she shows the analytical graph and the exact number of times that it was watched each day. And I'll just throw some dates out there. It was like watched, let's say 5 times on December 18th, and then 10 times on December 20th, and then 5 times on the 21st, and 8 times on the 23rd. And then I think it was watched 9 times on the 29th. And I think it was watched on the 30th. I'm not sure. But this is all for almost 5 years after the wedding. And it's the holidays. It was watched on Christmas Day. I didn't say the 25th. It was watched, I think, on the 24th and or the 25th. So somebody or some people watched that video. It could be the family. It could be the couple. But it kind of seemed like it could have been a stalker that was watching the video. And again, it was before anything happened to them. So it was before anybody would have watched it, because they were like, oh, this couple just got offed. Let's watch their video. It's odd. It is odd. It's striking. Hey, Granny Annie, look at you. Hey, from Vegas. And see, I was thinking of you because you're the one who's always telling me, give Lana another chance. So I did. And I didn't regret it. So thank you. You can tell her I said that. But she needs to quit going to the scene of the crime. Seriously. I mean, I understand her desire to investigate and help, but yeah, I think that she's gonna create problems for herself if she keeps going down there. I mean, she lives nearby, so I mean, I live nearby too. I could show up too, but I'm not gonna. There's no way. This is not my thing. Drea says, hey folks, late to the party as always. I wish I could do what you do, Jazzy. You're awesome. Oh, you are too sweet, Drea. I love you for saying that. I love you anyway, but I especially love you for saying that. Thanks, dear. Kylie Rodney had viewers like crazy before she was sacrificed. Granny Annie, that's exactly what I was thinking about when I was watching Lana's video today. And it was our dear Shan, I think, who pulled up all the analytics on that. And weren't the views coming from Mexico? Weren't the views coming from Mexico on Kylie Rodney? I'm pretty sure they were international. So that's the other thing. Is like the cops are going to know exactly who was watching the video in December and on Christmas. So it's my opinion that it's her ex-husband. I'll just say it. That's my opinion. I could be in left field. I'm hesitant to say it because it might not be. I could be wrong. But I had already been thinking that before I even knew she'd been married before. And then honestly, when I found out she was married to a surgeon, I was just like, man, those guys are controlling. I know somebody who was a nurse who got raped by a surgeon that she worked with. And he held a scalpel to her neck when he did it. It was at a home it was like a little party. It was her and her nurse friend and him and his doctor friend. And my friend said to her nurse friend, like, don't leave me alone with him, because she got the creeps from him. And then there she was alone at his place with him, and he took out a scalpel and he assaulted her. She told the hospital, she told the police, and nothing was ever done because he was a surgeon. This was like 30 years ago, but still. Doctors tend to be very controlling. I mean, we can all be controlling. Nurses can be controlling. I'm not trying to insult doctors. I mean, that's probably a feature of any person that is going to be helpful in getting through medical school and in doing surgery. I mean, you know what I mean. So anyway, I think that the police are going to be very careful with the doctor, because the doctor has money to hire the best attorney, and they don't want to have tunnel vision. And I think they're just playing. I mean, I'm willing to say this on my channel because it's so tiny. I think that they're just playing, holding their hand close to their chest, because if they keep saying that they don't have any suspects, it makes the suspects or persons of interest relax, right? But the police did a really good job, and the people have been criticizing the police. People have been criticizing the dispatcher. The dispatchers were not the best, but I understand that Columbus is a big city with a lot of crime. They get a lot of calls. And so they were like, so someone's an hour late to work and you're calling 911, really? And I think that was stupid. But again, they didn't say he's a dentist and he's never late. He's always half an hour early, and he's got patients waiting for him. And he was at work yesterday, and we expected him to be here. And if there's ever going to be any minor problem, he'll let us know right away. And then we tried calling his wife, and she's not responding, and she's very responsive when you try to reach out to her. They know her. They were probably having that birthday party that was this last month for Spence. I don't know if the party was like at his house or in Athens or at the office or at a restaurant, but they had a big party for him. And yeah. Anyway, it was a long commute, and I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 people from the office drove to their house an hour and 15 or 30 minutes away. I'm pretty sure that they showed up, that they got there shortly after the police came back, because the police were there the first time at about 9:22. And then I want to say that the Spence was discovered maybe about 10 o'clock. But my heart just breaks for the little kids. I mean, those of us that have had little kids know that they tend to wake early. And if their dad is usually up and out of the house at 6:30 or 6, he's usually out of the house at 6, because he usually gets to work at 7:30 and has an 8 o'clock client. If he's leaving the house at 6, I'm going to bet that the kids are probably waking up shortly thereafter, if not before he leaves. And that Mo is probably an early riser too, so that they can be on the same schedule. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because those kids, the 1-year-old and the 4-year-old, could have been awake for 4 hours, is my guess. They were awake and crying when everybody was finally discovered. And a 4-year-old's not going to be in a crib trying to figure out how to get out. The 4-year-old probably, they're not saying that the 4-year-old found the parents, but I'm thinking there's no way that the 4-year-old didn't find the parents. And it's heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. They're keeping a really tight lid on that, and it's a really, really sore point. The dog is with the brother that made the videotape, the wedding tape, Rob, and Spence's sister, Rob's wife. And then the kids are with family. So let me see what you guys are saying. And I have it on live chat, so I shouldn't be missing any of the comments. Lana does great investigative dives. She's been doing a great investigative dive on this, but I think she needs to be careful. That's all. She's doing really good work, but I think she needs to not be showing up at the scene of the crime is all. And, maybe not giving so many tips to the detectives because, like I said, they might get suspicious of her, but also she might be annoying them. I mean, she can just let them know that she's looking at stuff and that if they want to reach her, they can reach her. But yeah, I understand being excited about helping the case and trying to help the case because she's like scouring the neighborhood. She's talking to the neighbors. She's talking to family and friends. She's talking to everybody that will talk to her. And she is looking around to point out where all the cameras are. And then she's taking that information to law enforcement. So good on her. But I think she needs to just cool her jets a little is all. That's just my opinion. I mean, she can do whatever she wants, right? So views all over U.S. and many in Washington, D.C., people paying the dues for life insurance. Ooh, Granny Annie. So for Kylie Rodney, the views were from all over the country and in Washington, D.C. Well, that would fit right in with my crazy conspiracy theory, wouldn't it? Of the transporting and... yeah. I had a cardiovascular surgeon at age 54, me 44. He wanted me to give him a baby. I had grandkids. He met no second litter for me. Oh, that's hilarious. That's cute that he wanted you to have kids at 44. I had my last kid at 44. But yeah, if you're not into it. And yeah, if he wanted kids so bad, he could have found somebody else that wanted kids. LOL, Anna B says, Lana said 0 chance they could see in a window to see a body. Well, I'm glad you watched her videos. They were in the house when they made the call where they said, I see because the couple's bedroom was on the second floor. I think it's a 3-story house. It's tall and skinny, very very new, very modern. That's the word I'm looking for. Very, very modern, and 2,000 square feet, but 3 stories. And I'm thinking that the door might have been open. I've only heard somebody speculate that the house was all locked up. I don't think that that's fact. I'm thinking that maybe that's how the acquaintance or friend got in, the one that said, I can see a body and a lot of the red stuff, and the kids are screaming. And you can hear the kids so loudly that you know that they're in the house, that the phone is in the house. There's no way they could be heard that well on the phone if they were outside. I'm thinking that a window was open too, actually. I'm thinking a window was open. So, a lot of people gain points of entry through windows, but it's a security code on the front door that could have been used, especially if, say, Mo used the same security code for everything, or maybe they know how to hack and find information, or maybe it's somebody who knew the security code. Maybe it's somebody who knows how to jimmy them, or knows how to jimmy the windows. I mean, I don't think it was a professional, because I don't think they would have left the shells there. I think if somebody was hired to do that, I don't think any shells would have been left behind, because those are key pieces of evidence. They can match them to the exact weapon, not just the type of weapon, the exact weapon. And the ex-husband took his whole freaking Facebook account down right away. And you could say, well, yeah, he didn't want to be looked at like a suspect, but yeah, that makes you look like a suspect. And maybe he's not been doing his regular routine. I don't know. Have you heard anything about that, Granny Annie? I have wondered if the doctor was offered profit sharing or part of the business. And the current owner of the business, Bat, wanted it null. Rob is handling this really well. I hope he wasn't a jealous brother. I know. Did you watch the whole wedding video, Granny Annie? Because I played it in this video earlier. I'm going to put a link in the description, but you can go to Rob's channel. He has a YouTube channel because he does these professionally. And let's see. The name of his channel is Rob Misleh, Misleh. And the video is beautiful. It's so well done. But at about 8 minutes in, it shows an American flag, and then it's dark. The video is dark. It's night out. The music is dark, and it gets kind of creepy. And then it switches to a third song. It's got Kenny Loggins for the first song, Danny's song. It's fantastic. Makes me cry every time, especially with this. So you got the tearjerker, sappy love song, and then you've got the kind of spooky song. I don't know who it is, and then you've got this like real uplifting beat, kind of a pop dance song, and I don't know who that is either. But it's weird how it kind of gets creepy and spooky. So I was kind of thinking the same thing too. I'll be honest, Granny Annie, since you put it out there. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, he's married to Spence's sister. And they live in Cincinnati. And, if it turns out that it was her ex-husband or someone else, and I feel really bad for saying anything about that, Annie. So you said it. I didn't. You said it. Rob is handling this really well. I hope he wasn't a jealous brother. Well, and it is interesting. He's all over social media. Does it remind you of Scammy organizing the search crew and interviewing everybody? I don't know. Has he been designated as like the point person because he's holding it together? I don't know what he does for a profession. So Timothy Tepe, Spence's dad and Rob's father-in-law, he's an attorney in Cincinnati. He's a very successful attorney. There's another Timothy Tepe in Cincinnati who's a judge who's got domestic violence stuff. And there's been a lot said about the ex-husband, the MDM, having domestic violence stuff with Mo, but I don't know if that's accurate. It's like it's been put out there that records have been found, and then it's been like, no, that's not true. I mean, I've tried looking at the records. Paula Plunder has them, and then of course Lana's got them, and I'm sure a ton of other people have them too. But I don't know. There was a 911 domestic violence call to Mo and Spence's home earlier last year in 2025, like March or April. But it was not Mo making the call. It was a woman. I think it's been determined that it was a woman that was at the party with her boyfriend and had too much to drink. And apparently Mo and Spence had big parties. They loved having people over, and so that's entirely possible. And the person was using their cell phone, but I think they used Spence and Mo's address, but I don't think it had anything to do with Spence and Mo, that call. And I think that's important. Because I also think that Fox News like jumped the gun and put it into the news media today that it was them. And that's freaking ridiculous, man, especially for big Fox News. I mean, come on. get it together. Like, vet your crap, man. I mean, I vet my crap, and I'm just little me. I don't take anything at face value. I mean, you just can't. I thought you might wonder about envious brother, but we have to start inside out. Exactly. And that's exactly, you're going to start with the tight circle of friends and family. You're always going to start with exes. Of course, it could be not having to do with an affection. It could have something to do with money. It could be random, but that seems completely unlikely. It seems very planned and premeditated and planned and methodical. That's the word I'm looking for. So it happened between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. And again, if he's usually leaving his house at 6 a.m., he's probably waking up around 5 normally. Like, that might be his normal schedule. So maybe it's somebody who knew his schedule and wanted to confront him. They've pinned it down to 2 to 5, but they haven't pinned it down any more accurately than that yet that I know of. I'm just so relieved that the kids were left untouched, but obviously they're going to be effed up for life. I mean, horrible, horrible, horrible. And especially the 4-year-old, because she's going to remember, and she more than likely saw them and was completely traumatized and was trying to get them to wake up and didn't know how to use a phone and knew enough not to leave the house, thank goodness, because what if she had left the house like in a trauma, in a PTSD days as a 4-year-old? What if she had freaking opened the front door to try to get help and didn't know what to do and then got lost or abducted or whatever? It was cold out that day too. So thank goodness the kids were okay. Unbelievable. And they're not saying anything about the kids, and I don't blame them, other than that they're safe with family. And yeah, I mean, when somebody in your life is the victim of a violent crime like that, everybody's looking at everybody. Nobody's trusting anybody. So, you know, I would think that the kids would probably be with Mo's parents, because Mo's parents live in Columbus and they've lived in the same house for 38 years. They bought their house in 1989 and they still live there. I think Mo was probably born in like 87 because she was 39. So somewhere around there. So she moved into that house when she was little, and the parents are still in that house. But yeah, it's just devastating. I don't know if there's anything else to say about that case other than, you know, praying for the family, praying for the kids, praying for justice. I'm hoping that they're going to have an arrest in a couple of days. And like I said, that they're just playing their cards close to their chest and they're vetting everything, especially if it is somebody who's got the resources of a cardiovascular surgeon and they can hire the best attorneys in the world. And, you know, they can always get you on a technicality. I mean, they can always get off on a technicality. It's ridiculous. If you have a lot of money, the system is made for wealthy people to do whatever the F they want, right? So Mrs. Rodney paid her COVID loan back, giving them Kylie. Ooh, dang it, Granny Annie. That could be, because, yeah, we know she owed COVID loans. Well, not only did she owe them, because the loans you didn't have to pay back. The PPE loans, what was the PPE for? It was like personnel protection something. Emergency, I don't know. You didn't have to pay them back, but she lied and she said she had employees that she didn't have. So she probably could have been arrested and prosecuted. So that would have been more than just having to pay them back. Like, yeah, we knew that she was supposed to be paying them back, but maybe they said, well, you can pay back the loans and not go to jail if you have something that we're interested in. I don't know. I thought you might wonder about envious brother, but we have to start inside out. Exactly, Jazz. We think alike. Let me see if I can make this comment late up. Can I? No, it's not gonna do it. What was that last comment somebody made, that she lied and didn't deserve PPE loan? Was it a PPP loan or a PPE loan? I think it was PPE, but yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's terrible. A lot of people were making fraudulent claims with that. I mean, the freaking Idaho 4 was making fraudulent claims, Granny Annie. The whole thing with, remember, if you had like a part-time employee, if you were 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week, and then you got unemployment because they told everybody to get unemployment. I was full-time and I went on the unemployment, and then the government gave you another $300 attached to your paycheck. So each week, so $1,200 a month, which was a lot. And there were plenty of people that was more than they were making a month, like if they were part-time, and they still got the $300 a week attached to each payment. And they were doing like automatic deposits into your accounts. So I had heard with the University of Idaho that the fraternities and the sororities had lied about a whole bunch of employees too. And they were having all of those $1,200 plus automatic deposits going into accounts. Did you hear about that, Granny Annie? I bet you did. So there were COVID scams with that too. And yeah, it's important to remember because you had the COVID in 2020, and then you had 2021, and then you had Kylie Rodney in 2022. So especially really expensive places, expensive to run, like universities were going, brick and mortar places were going toe up even before COVID, but especially after. And yeah, the bills were just astronomical. And then there were a lot of people with the whole pandemic that got very, very wealthy. And there were people that went toe up. But, the PPE loans and the padded automatic deposits went really well. I got robbed of a bunch of my automatic deposits in Ohio. We were one of 3 states where the feds were sending the money to the state, and then the state kept it and did not distribute it to the people. So the last few months of my forced unemployment from COVID, before I went back to that same job, I was getting shafted. Governor DeWine still owes me $300 a week, $1,200 a month for, I think it was like 3 months. So that would be what, like $3,600, and not just me, but everybody in the state. And there's been class action lawsuits about it, and there's been really conservative judges who have said it's fine that he stole your money, so shut up and deal with it. So yes, COVID scams, now Minnesota scams. So Granny Annie, that whole thing with the Minnesota scam is a scam in itself. Like that's really crazy stuff. We don't need to get into it, but yeah, it's ridiculous. Newsom made my friend's gyms go bankrupt. Sad he was well off. So did you hear today? I wasn't going to talk about politics because politics suck. Did you hear about the Republican representative who passed away yesterday? 65 years old, LaMalfa? What was his name? I forget his first name. California Republican, passed away yesterday. Just fell suddenly ill, went to the ER and died. And then there was another person in the government, 80 years old, who was in a car accident today. Today was Marjorie Taylor Greene's last day, and then it got complicated by that other guy passing away. What was his name? The California rep died. And maybe he just had a heart attack or something. Doug LaMalfa. It's weird because it looks like mafia, but it's LaMalfa. Am I saying it right? LaMalfa? But that Republican congressman from California, I'm thinking that's more trouble for Newsom, too. And we don't know what he passed away from, do we? And yeah, it's like a razor thin margin now. I think it's just like one vote. I mean, it depends who fills MTG's seat and who fills Malfa's seat. But with both of their seats, if they're flipped, I think that would put more Dems than Republicans in the House. I'm not sure. It might be one more then. So, again, so Governor Newsom must call a special election to replace the fourth generation rice farmer, though the term will be short-lived. So, yeah, let's talk about the Nick Reiner case a little bit if you guys want to. There's going to be an arraignment hearing tomorrow. So I'm sure everybody's thinking he'll plead not guilty. And yeah, that's such a horrible, sad case. Wow, LaMalfa in Cali. Yeah. LaMalfa probably took shots. My friend died in CCU at Kaiser Hospital. They said dead, but can't say why. Second shot was a week before. Well, like the COVID shot. And then there was a kid that passed away close to where I live in Ohio. A 16-year-old girl that died of the flu before New Year's. So like a week ago. 16 years old, high school girl. And then I think yesterday, a 5-year-old in Austin, Texas died of the flu. And I got my flu shot this year, but not my COVID shot. And yeah, I know it's like you have to weigh it out and do what is comfortable for you. But LaMalfa probably took shots. My friend passed in the CCU at Kaiser Hospital. They said deceased, but can't say why. Second shot was a week before. So LaMalfa he voted consistent with Trump 100% of the time, but also he voted for releasing the Epstein files, although that was with Trump too, because Trump said, okay, fine, everybody just sign the damn thing, right? Northern Cal, if no tampering, will have Republican. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was from Chico, which can be definitely more conservative than like San Francisco or Los Angeles. And yeah, I mean, I kind of got the feeling with Kylie Rodney's case that everybody in Truckee was Republican, except maybe her family, and maybe they were outcasts. I don't know. Northern Cal, if no chamber. Okay, Nick Reiner, Rob changed will. When did he change his will? I haven't heard that. But yeah, I've got this whole theory, Granny Annie, about just wondering. It's not really a theory. Maybe it is. I just wonder if Nick might have been radicalized online. That's what I wonder. Oh, yeah. So Tommy Lee Jones's daughter passed away. How old was she? She was not that much older than Nick. But Tommy Lee Jones and Rob, they knew each other well. And Tommy Lee Jones was political. Remember, he was roommates with Al Gore for 4 years at Harvard. So his daughter passed away in a hotel in San Francisco a few days ago, and she was found in the hallway, which is, I think, bizarre. And Victoria Jones, 34. So she's only 2 years older than than Nick. So the fact that Tommy Lee Jones and Rob Reiner worked together on many movies and in the political, being outspoken Democrats, and just a 2-year age difference, chances of Victoria and Nick knowing each other is extremely high. So she was found at the Fairmont in San Francisco, early hours of Thursday, January 1st. And she faced charges prior to passing away. I just think it's weird because I didn't know if Tommy Lee Jones and Rob Reiner had any affiliation at all. They have a lot of affiliation. Oh, so I sent you that video, Anna Bees. Are you guys familiar with, let's see. I sent it to Anna Bees. Where's our thread? Didn't I? No, maybe I didn't send it to you. Did I or didn't I? I thought I did. No, maybe I didn't, because I didn't want to overwhelm you. I was sending you so much stuff. Holy crap. Okay, this is the video. I found it, and I'm not gonna play it for you guys. I just want to get the name of the channel. I'll put a link in the description. So I'd been wondering if there was any connection there. The channel is called Tezmosis, Tezzmosis, and I thought it was a very good video. Seems like a very good channel. I think I was already subscribed to it. I didn't agree with everything they said, and I thought that they were kind of running a little far with a couple of things. But because they were talking about the two of them being violated by their dads. I think they were talking about like Victoria and Nick both being victimized incestually. And I don't know that there's any evidence of that. You know, people talk about like Rob Reiner's roasting party in like 1990. And roasting parties are really tasteless, in my opinion. And yeah, it's really creepy, the kind of jokes that they were making about that kind of stuff. It's like not funny, but it's a roasting party. So I don't know what to make of that. I mean, I don't feel like that's a thing to say that either one of them was abused that way. Of course, it's possible, but I think even more likely is that kids just get abused in the industry, especially child stars. And I don't think Nick was so much a child star, but Tommy Lee Jones's daughter, Victoria, she was in a few movies as a child with her dad. But yeah, they had a lot of the same issues. They both had the substance abuse issues. They both had the kind of anger at their families issues, just growing up with extremely wealthy, successful parents. I told you, I grew up with a lot of kids like that, and they have it really rough. Really, really rough. I think rougher than like the poverty-stricken, abused kids born with like fetal alcohol syndrome that I've worked with. I honestly think that the rich, famous, the kids of the rich and famous are worse off than the poverty-stricken, worst case child abuse situations. I really honestly believe that from my experience, what I've seen. I've been saying that my whole life, ever since I had the exposure as an adult of working with children in the psychiatric system and in the care of child protective services, and like the poster children for like the worst case scenarios, kids that by all medical phenomena should have been deceased from the type of abuse and neglect that they suffered, but they survived, but they were so damaged, but not as damaged as the kids that I knew that grew up with extremely rich, famous family. It's a horrible prognosis, horrible predicament to be in. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. So it cured me of ever wanting to be rich and famous from a very young age. And, you know, growing up, I would meet people, especially moving from California to Ohio, and people would be just like amazed with the people that I knew, because I would like try not to tell them, but then like they'd, you know, pester me and get it out of me. And then they'd be like, no way, if you knew those people, you'd be famous too. I'm like, if I was lying to you, I'd say that I knew Mick Jagger. Wouldn't be talking about all these other people. It'd be Mick. But yeah, I was very secure in not wanting to be rich or famous from a very young age. So that's a positive, right? I mean, people get so caught up in it, and then you can't be rich enough, you can't be famous enough. It's just like, man, it's horrible. I mean, part of the problem is that we can all look up on our phones instantly what someone's net worth is. And a lot of these rich, famous people, they get so competitive and they want to be like the top. They can't stand it that people can find out that there's a lot of people that are richer than them, that people can find that out so quickly. It's insane. So it's very competitive. You know, like all these freaking billionaires that are trying to run the world and move to Mars. Yeah, they're trying to run the galaxy, not the world, the galaxy. Let's see. He changed it a month ago or more. Billy Crystal was told he was scared of Nick and changed the will. Nick was snooping and trying to get it overturned, etc., by his Googles. Interesting, Annie. I'll have to look into that. Where did you see all of this? Because I haven't seen that, and I've been trying to follow that case closely. I can't remember. I think it was True Crime Rocket Science. Okay, I'm not liking that channel. I just have to say, because there's times that I love that guy, Nick. He did amazing work on the Meredith Kircher case, but he sucked with Kylie Rodney, and he's sucking with Nick Reiner. And really, I just feel like the case with the couple in Columbus is just kind of bringing out the worst in channels like that, Surviving the Survivor or True Crime Rocket Science with Nick Reiner, where it's such an industry to them, and they're trying to get the clicks, they're trying to get the likes, they're trying to make the money, they're trying to get all the views. So they're just like saying stupid things. I mean, I've watched some of sorry, getting all excited. That was way too loud. I've watched some of the True Crime Rocket Science about this case, and I've been very disappointed. I mean, I got so disappointed with him over Kylie Rodney that I quit watching him for a while. But then I was like, you know, it's fine to disagree with content creators. I mean, you're not going to agree with a content creator on every case. But I've not been thinking that he's making good choices with his videos about Nick Reiner. I think that he's just painting Nick black. He's not understanding the dynamic, like what I was describing of kids growing up rich and famous like that. They're screwed, man. It's horrible. It's horrible. They have way too much money, and they can't trust their friends. They can't trust their family. I mean, like, look what happened with the Reiners. If people want to be friends with you, like Nick had that problem a lot where people would be trying to get to his dad. Like, they just wanted to talk to his dad. And so he kind of lost faith in humanity because he thought people liked him for him, but then they were just like, oh, your dad. And it was obvious that he was just being used to get to his dad. But that being said, he could be right. Nick from True Crime Rocket Science could be right about that stuff. But I've been looking at that case a lot, and I've not seen that. So, I think when we see a channel that's telling us stuff that we think, wow, epiphany, light bulb, just like Christina Randall says, it's really on all of us to do our own research and come up with our own conclusion. It's like, it's great that content creators can provide all of this insight and opinion. Paula Plunder was talking about that too with the Tepe case. She was criticizing content creators, none by name, but just that are like jumping to conclusions and running with it. And, I have my own ideas about that case, but I know that I could be completely inaccurate too. So we just have to keep an open mind. I really think that Nick could have been getting radicalized and that it could be like a Charles Manson family type of situation. And that could be what that lawyer, I forget his name right now, the one who was Karen Reed's lawyer, it could be what he was referring to when he was saying it's a really complex case. Just wait until it goes to trial. And yeah. And maybe there was abuse. Maybe there was, I think there was neglect. I think that Rob was so caught up in his career and in his politics that he didn't give that much time and attention to his kids, in my opinion. And that's understandable because we all only have so much time and energy in a day. We only have so much time and attention. And when you're making big movies, you're just not going to be around your kids and family that much. I mean, I've heard people criticizing the mom for having postpartum depression, and I'm sorry, but I'm a mental health professional and I've had 4 kids, and I don't know anybody who didn't have postpartum depression. Give me an effing break. I mean, that is nothing to criticize anybody about. And especially, again, being rich and famous and then having a baby and then having nannies and then, feeling guilty that you're not doing more of this or more of that or whatever. I mean, I would think that would just kind of add to the problems too, just having so much resources available that then you feel like an idiot for not just being on top of the world because you have it all, right? Let's see. What else? Day 1, someone said, oh no, is the essay going to be brought out? Sister paying for Alan Jackson is a hint. So do you watch that Surprise Witness? Because she was running with that, and I really liked her 4-hour plus live about the case. I thought she had ideas that were in left field, and at the same time I still really liked her long live about the Reiner case. And she was talking about that, and especially because of the roasting. And again, roasting is roasting. It brings up the Menendez case for a lot of reasons, but, you got to remember that the Menendez's dad was a Hollywood producer, right? I mean, I believe that those boys were victimized. I'm one of the believers. Let's see, Menendez father, here. Jose Menendez career. He was a music executive who achieved wealth in the entertainment industry before his 1989 Red Rum by His Sons notorious crime case. So I'm glad I looked that up because it was music, not movies. But we've all is like the P. Diddy stuff, or like the Nick at Night stuff, or the boy bands, or Britney, or Justin Bieber. I mean, there's so much sex abuse in Hollywood, especially. One of the things I wanted to say about the Tepe's wedding video, when it got kind of creepy and dark right after the 8-minute mark, the whole vibe kind of changed. It's not just that it was dark outside and that the music got creepy. It was almost like a masquerade party. It kind of reminded me of the scenes that I've seen in clips from Eyes Wide Shut. That's just me. I haven't seen that movie, but of course I've seen trailers for it. And there's something about that like 8 to 9, maybe 10-minute mark on that wedding video that just it spooked me. I don't know if it would, I think it might spook me even if the couple was still alive, but especially knowing what happened to the couple, it really spooked me. Like the first time I saw it, I was like, did he do it? I mean, again, I feel terrible saying that. It's kind of the same thing that these people saying, well, did the dentist office owner do it? Or did the employees do it? The ones that were calling, because that's crazy that they would call and show up when the guy's only an hour late. It's just like, I don't think that's crazy. When you know somebody's routine and you also know that they're easy to get a hold of, like some people are easy to get a hold of. Some people often have their phones turned off or their ringers turned off or they miss their texts. It sounds like Mo was not one of those people that ever had her phone turned off or missed her texts, and that people knew that. So when they couldn't get a hold of her, they were like, holy crap, something happened. Let's see. I haven't even been looking at my notes at all, have I? I got my notebook and then I never opened it. That surprise witness, what was the last name famous person? Let's see. I missed a whole bunch. I'm sorry. It was famous last name, was known for touching stars, kids, or something. So I know that there are stars who do that. I mean, Kevin Spacey, whose kid was it that he assaulted? It was a very famous person. Was it Robert De Niro's kid? Let me see if AI knows. What famous person's child did Kevin Spacey try to sexually assault? Okay, Boston anchorwoman alleged that Spacey sexually assaulted her son. Filmmaker Tony Montana, actor Robert Cavazos. Oh, it was Richard Dreyfuss's son. Sorry, not the other guy that I just said. Scratch that. It was Richard Dreyfuss's son, Harry, and 8 people who worked on House of Cards. So Boston anchorwoman Heather, her son, and then this is Kevin Spacey. Filmmaker Tony Montana, actor Robert. Okay, so the filmmaker himself and the actor Roberto Cavazos, and then Richard Dreyfuss's son Harry, and then 8 people who worked on the House of Cards. And that House of Cards was probably right after the American Beauty, which that was a creepy movie too. Yeah, that he starred in. Anyway, you got all these great comments. Let me keep reading your comments because we are going on for a little longer than I was planning on. Thanks so much for being here, you guys. I can't remember. I think it was True Crime Rocket Science. Okay. He's doing almost daily. He takes nice vacations, so clicks are coming, but he's researching. If I see, I will episode and will send. Yeah, he does great work and he writes books. I just think like with the Nick Reiner case in particular, I think he's getting sloppy. And, I thought he was terrible with Kylie Rodney's case. He was just really going with the mainstream with Kylie Rodney's case. It's like, come on, she had a car accident. We saw it on videotape. Get over it. It's just like, just because you see something on videotape, that doesn't mean that it's true and accurate. I mean, there was nothing about that videotape that could ensure that that was her or that it was the right time and date. I mean, that whole thing was like the most effed up, stupid crap in the world. And a lot of people, I think, were upset with each other over that videotape and with that case. I think it really split a lot of people apart from each other. And it brought a lot of us together, didn't it? That's where we're all from, Granny Annie. So let's see. Nick being schizophrenic, often it happens from their drugs of choice. My bailiff friend's son is schizo on meth. If he calls, we can tell. Oh, yikes. Gavin Fish is doing really good work on the Reiner case, in my opinion. I've been really enjoying his videos about it, and I haven't watched all of them, but I'm very appreciative of the work he's doing. Yes, Nick's expressions say, Dad, you don't know me. My middle kid says she felt uncredited. 3 kids, was busy, and I can only praise her more now. No parenting manuals. The middle kid always gets lost. I have middle kids. I've got my girls are the oldest and the youngest, and I've got 2 boys in the middle. And I think especially the younger boy really got the middle kid syndrome, because the older boy is the oldest boy. But yeah, the middle kid syndrome sucks. And it's like, it seems to me like it's impossible to avoid. I mean, I tried so hard, and yeah, there's only so much you can do. That surprise witness, what was the last name, famous person? When she was talking about the Nick Reiner case, Al Franken was one of the people that was roasting Rob Reiner that she talked about, and Al Franken was the comedian who then was in our Congress, and then he resigned when there were harassment allegations against him. I was a big Al Franken fan. I thought that whole thing was really messed up. And the whole thing with Al Franken is like, he was like flying to entertain military with a female comedian, and they would do raunchy, jokey stuff together. And then she was MAGA and he was a Democrat, and she like very carefully calculated her allegations against him. And it was 10 years later, but it was part of their like skit and their routine too. And but he didn't try to fight it. He just instantly resigned. He was just like, yeah, I'll just take one for the team. Like he was trying to show some class, I thought. But yeah, I don't know if that's what you're talking about or not, Granny Annie. Let's see, get all caught up on you. Yes, Nick's expressions say you don't know me. I know I just read that one, but yeah, so much so. If you watch the interviews of Nick and Rob together, it's just tragic. And I'm a huge Rob Reiner fan, but he was overbearing and it was his son's project. And, you know, he would try to not be overbearing, but it's just kind of in his nature. And he's the dad. And it was just awkward. It was painful to watch. And the expressions on Nick's face said it all. And, you know, I think that Nick has a lot of issues, obviously. And I think that he had a lot going for him. I mean, he's kind of screwed for life now. Even if he was radicalized, if he did it, he's screwed for life. Even if it was a Charles Manson, Jacob's Ladder, MK Ultra type of thing, he's still screwed for life. The only way he wouldn't be screwed for life is if he didn't actually do it, if he was there, but other people were there too and they did it. But I kind of think he probably did it. And it's just like, did he do it on his own accord, or was there some serious mind effery going on? And I'm sure, you know, it's going to matter, like you were saying, the things that he Googled and the people that he was in touch with, the type of stuff that he watched. Like his whole digital footprint is going to have an immense amount of weight in the case. And the thing with the, it's weird that we got the 2 double homicides, and because their double homicides are just not that common. So to have 2 in the same month, even though it's like Los Angeles and Columbus, it's still, they're just not very common. And to have something so high profile like the Reiners is crazy. But what was I going to say about the Tepe case? And let me reread your thing and maybe it'll jog my memory. Was it that surprise witnesses? What was the last name? Famous parent. Oh, dang it. No, I can't remember what I was going to say about the Tepe case. It's gone. I don't think I'm going to recover the thought. So far, when I've like forgotten what I was talking about on my lives, I can always recover the thought. Like that's like the first time in a really long time where I'm just like, oh crap, I don't think I'm going to remember, because it was just kind of a fleeting thought, but it was a good one. Something about the Tepe family, the mom, the dad, the double homicide, the digital footprint. That's what it was. I got it. I reeled it back in. Okay, this is what it was. Now I'm going to forget again. No, I'm just kidding. I think that they have the whole incident on camera for the Tepes. I am under the impression, from what I've gathered from all my sleuthing, I'm under the impression that they have the entire effing incident on camera, because I think that there are cameras in the house. I mean, Columbus has a lot of crime. I can't imagine living in that nice of a house in Columbus. There's a lot of nice houses in Columbus, but there's also a lot of gangsters and a lot of crime and a lot of random crime. I can't imagine living that close to downtown, or like I said, anywhere in Columbus. There's just a ton of crime there. I can't imagine not having video cameras in my house. I mean, especially with little kids, because you have a nice house. You think about the possibility that one of your kids could get snatched for ransom. Yeah. Speaking about snatched for ransom, the whole thing with Maduro, holy crap, we're not going to talk about politics because it's effing crazy, but that whole thing was staged. They'd been planning that for years, but then it got sped up because Maduro was making fun of Biggly Piggly's dancing a few days before he got abducted or snatched or whatever, captured. But that whole thing is staged. Like, Maduro was in on it. That whole thing is staged. Again, it's another distraction from the Trumpstein files. Oh, and then did you guys see that there's like 3.2 million files that the DOJ wrote a letter saying that they lost 3.2 million files? How would you know if you lost them? How would you know how many there are if they're gone? Were you counted them before you lost them? Okay, sure. Let's catch up with you and then look at my notes and then wrap up. We're getting close to 2 hours. And again, thanks so much for being here. The middle child. Another young boy claimed a few years ago that Mendez's dad was essayed by him. And it's just so sad. I mean, those Menendez brothers were crazy. You know, they did it. They were insane with all their spending and, you know, but I believe them. I think that they were victimized. And, you know, the laws at the time that happened had just been changed. So if you were a victim of like domestic violence or that type of abuse, it didn't mean that you didn't get found guilty. It just meant that you got a lighter sentence. So I think they've gotten really screwed with the heavy-handed sentencing. Let's see. Has anyone Googled Rob's net worth? Yes, it's over $200,000. That's what I said in my video last week. It's over $200 million, of course. Well over, like maybe 250 million. Does he have prospective clients watch his now famous wedding video? Why promoted so much in December? Well, I don't know if it was promoted or if it was being viewed by the stalker, but if it was being viewed by the stalker, and Lana brought this up too, they could have been figuring out the layout of the house somewhat from the video, but they could also probably look up the house online and get a full, you know, you can do that with most houses. Like that was something in the Idaho 4 too. You can look up most of our houses online and see how much they're worth and what the layout is, and maybe even get photographs or a video tour. I mean, that's just so common these days. And they only purchased that house the year before they got married. The Tepe's house was purchased, I think Rob purchased it in like 2019 or 2020. I think it was 2019. And then they got married in 2021. And her name's not on the house. Only his name is on that house. But that's a really good point, Granny Annie, that, yeah, his amazing wedding video, Rob's amazing wedding video that he made of his brother-in-law and sister-in-law is now going to be very famous, and so will he, and so will his business. So that's a really brilliant point, girlfriend. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Little boy is sick. My Pierce County, Washington victim testified that his biggest shame was he is not gay, Mormon, married at time of testimony. Another thing that they said in the Surviving the Survivor video, which was kind of hilarious and kind of disgusting, is they were like, wasn't Spencer on the wrestling team at OSU? And, you know, the whole wrestling team at OSU has like mass abuse allegations for decades. And no, Spencer was not on the wrestling team at OSU, but I was just like, OMG, people. You can't just make stuff up. I was middle kid, too busy cooking and cleaning for 6 people to notice I was left out. Aw, video games are common in all school shooters. Fact. I feel MK Ultra is sent through those games. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy stuff online that we all get, right? Methane blue is awesome memory supplement. Is that what they use for the MK Ultra? Let's see. What was your last comment there? It's being blocked. Oops, I meant the other Rob in Ohio. His net worth. Oh, that guy. No, I have no idea. And I doubt that you could look it up, but that just gives me an idea. And I mean, a lot of times when you look up someone's net worth, it's not accurate anyway. But Spencer's house was very expensive. I want to say it was like $800,000 house. And to be like in downtown Columbus, so close to downtown Columbus, like not really a great neighborhood, like a what do they call that when they've kind of reclaimed a ghetto and made it all fancy? When they've renovated the whole neighborhood, there's a name for that. But Spencer Tepe net worth. Gentrification, that's the word I'm looking for. Spencer Tempe net worth. I mean, dentists make good money, but his house was expensive, and I doubt it'll say anything about it. Yeah, there's no publicly confirmed or credible report regarding the specific net worth. He was a professional dentist based in Columbus, Ohio. Public figures like local medical professionals typically do not have their private financial data or exact net worth disclosed in public records or financial databases. Most recent news regarding Spencer Tepe and his wife, Monique, pertains to a tragic investigation. Yeah. And yeah, they released a video of somebody from the alley from the night of the homicide, but it's just like a shadowy figure. I mean, they do have a particular gait. I can't remember if they're like kind of dragging one of their feet or something, but it's very shadowy. But like I said, I believe that there's a possibility that they have the crime on camera. There was another double homicide case in Ohio, very close to where I live, a few years ago, that they literally had the whole shooting on camera. They had it videotaped, and it was family. It was like the nephew that did it, and they had videotape of him doing it. But they did not let that out until like the plea agreement, basically. I mean, they never let that information out. They never let that information out. They literally had immediately, as soon as it happened, they had the footage. So I have a feeling that that's what happened here. They're just not saying. Oops, I meant the other Rob. Okay. You had a thought you forgot. The methylene blue is really helping my brain. I feel, oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like for, for like zapping thoughts out of your brain, which is what that Tesmosis video talks about with Men in Black and Tommy Lee Jones. And, I think they, like I said, they ran a little far with it. I feel a hit person did it for someone that could afford to pay, in my opinion, although they would have picked up the shells, I think. And the shells didn't have any words written on them, which is really weird in this day and age. Aren't you supposed to write your manifesto on the shell? My cousin was a hit by MA13. Cops refused to investigate. Is that like a gang, like MS-13? Is the A and the S are right next to each other, aren't they? On the keyboard? Yeah, they are. Did you mean MS-13? Okay, let me look into my notes and see what I have here. If there's anything more that I wanted to share. I think we're just going to need to wrap it up. How did Coomer Scott Green from the Idaho 4 he might have had a lot of money to launder if he made $1 billion in those first 4 years of being the president of the University of Idaho, when his salary was less than $500,000 a year. Then how do you make $1 billion in 4 years? So that would be like $250 million a year extra on top of his $500,000. I don't know. What do you do to launder the money? And was that house 1122 King Road, was that used for transporting when his dad owned it? Is that why they destroyed it? Were there tunnels below the house? You know, I think it was Crime Circus who first got on that jag. And I still think that it's entirely plausible and probably likely. It might even explain why that house had such bizarre architecture. But yeah, when you make a lot of money that illegally, you have to figure out how to launder it. And real estate's one of the best ways to launder it. So Rob Reiner and Tommy Lee Jones worked on a movie together in 2017 called Shock and Awe about Bush and Saddam Hussein. So I want to give a huge shout out to Noor Jasmine. I'm going to put a link in the description to a video that she did. It's probably her last one. It was a couple days ago. It's about conspiracy theories, and it's so freaking good. I was considering like doing a reaction video to it, like watching it with you guys and then, you know, interjecting. But I watched it a second time to see if that would be a good thing to do, and it didn't seem like it would fit. So I'll just put a link in the description. I also want to give a huge shout out to another one of my favorite content creators these days. You know, have so many, but Reese Waters, man, he's killing it. He's really good. And if you haven't seen him, I highly recommend him. I'll put a link in the description to his videos too. He's a professional comedian. I just looked up his wife. He's married to somebody who works on documentaries. And she worked on the Amanda Knox documentary. And I had watched it before, but I watched a little bit of it again when I realized that she was married to one of my favorite content creators and that she worked on it. And I thought they did a really crappy job with that Amanda Knox documentary. Like, they totally fell for her crap, hook, line, and sinker. So I was very disappointed. I would think that Reese Waters would be married to somebody much more intelligent than that. And maybe she didn't agree with it. Maybe she was just part of the project and she got outvoted. Who knows? But it was just an interesting tidbit to realize that she was a person who works in the industry making documentaries. And Reese, I think he also has a work history of being a sportscaster as well as a professional comedian. And he's just really sharp and really funny. So if you don't know him, you guys might like him too. MS-13 from El Salvador. Right. And then there's the Tren de Aragua, the one that is that in Venezuela. Tunnels below the house for sure. KG, not Kylie, but it's so much like Kylie. What was her name? Gonzalez. You got Maddie Morgan, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and I'm totally blanking because I know it's not Kylie because Kylie Rodney, but it's like almost the exact same. What was the other one? Kylie and Kaylee Gonzalez. That's it. Okay. Brain work, please, and thank you. All right, I'm going to sign off. It is 12:30 at night. My lovelies, thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to drink your water, eat your protein, and I just had to come on live with you guys and talk about the Tepe tragedy and talking some about Nick Reiner's what do you call it, arraignment that's happening tomorrow. So prayers for the freaking families. I mean, absolutely heartbreaking. And like I said, it is odd to have two outstanding double homicides simultaneously. And for all we know, the Reiners is also on videotape. A lot of criminals tape these things. They can make millions on the black market. Like that was a thing with the Idaho 4 too. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. You know, the dark web is gross. But allegedly the Reiners had their house wired inside and out, but the son probably knew how to turn it off. So Kaylee, yeah. Kaylee G. I can never say her last name. We just go with G. Or Gonzo, Kaylee Gonzo. But yeah, isn't it wild that one content creator is like, I don't know if they've gotten married already or if they're still just engaged with Gonzo's brother. That creeps me out. I just think as a content creator, you just got to have some boundaries. I just think it's not a good idea to like get involved in real life. I mean, different strokes for different folks, but I'm just glad it's not me. It's like keeping a professional distance is always important, even as a freaking content creator on YouTube. It's just nuts. And yeah, these cases are so sad. They're real lives, real families, real tragedy. And man, I hope that freaking brother-in-law is not involved in the Tepe tragedy. That would suck even worse for the entire effing family. But I'm scared now, Granny Annie, when you said the thing about how it would help his business soar. Yeah, it would. I kind of feel like I'm going to throw up or cry. Oh man, I hope he's not guilty of anything other than having a very artistic video that gets dark at the 8-minute mark. So check it out if you haven't yet. I'm curious what you think. Good night. Sleep tight. Love to all of you. Thanks so much for watching. Whether you're here live or on the replay crew, I much appreciate your support. Have a great night and hope to see you soon. Probably not tomorrow, but hopefully the day after, if not tomorrow. Take care.